Alright, hey everybody. Hope everyone's having a pretty good Tuesday. Mine's not been too bad, so like I always say, I can't complain. Right, so yesterday we got a lot of work done on the connection system and taking a little break from netcode to work on the map. And how we're going to do the map now is think Minecraft but with hexagon blocks. So there'll just be a bunch of hexagons that will be able to be stacked up on each other, and the monsters of course can stand on top, maybe climb up, depending on how high that they'll actually be in the game. Um, Actually, maybe mods could support that, whatever they wanted to do. I'm planning, and the whole reason that I wanted to do this rather than the old system is because I want abilities to be able to move blocks and change their type, and then of course the mods would be able to need to change the way the blocks look based on that. The old system, everything was just one mesh, and it was going to be, I think, very difficult to give mods fine enough controls to be able to make the map look exactly how they wanted and still have modifiable terrain. So I think this will be better all in all. Alright, so we had started on... Okay, I was doing some testing last night, but this is all good. We had started on the hex position, and this class just holds a position for a specific hexagon. Let's pull up that page again. I'm using a website called Red Blob Games. They have a really good tutorial on hexagon placement, and so we're going to be using something called axial coordinates, and basically the row and a column, and then since our system is 3D, we'll also have a slice, which will be like the height of the hexagon. And that's what these positions are. And you can see here, or here, like this is column 0, row 0, and then column 1, row 0. And so the only thing that's a little confusing is that the column actually is a bit diagonal, but it just works out much easier to think of hexagons working that way. And they even do talk about this other system called offset coordinates, but the thing about this is that it's not easy. Like if I wanted to get all the hexagons that surround hexagon 4-3, there's no easy algorithm to do it, whereas here I can just look and see, well, which hexagons have a coordinate that's one different from ours, and that's all we have to do. And then this website has a whole bunch different yeah, here's the neighbors algorithm I was just talking about, but they have a whole bunch of different algorithms. So yeah, we'll be referencing or referring to this website quite a bit, I think. They even have pathfinding, which we'll definitely need. Although since ours is 3D, it will be a little more complicated, but anyway, so and we decided to just use a normal array. Okay, so actually how they store this is array row and then column plus row divided by 2. So how we're actually going to be doing it, I guess more rhombus, because we're not gonna have any like I say, like we're just gonna feed the row and column directly into the array. I'm not trying to do anything fancy, even though there will be some empty spaces. It shouldn't matter that much. And yeah, here we can see the field. So we have this array, the map that we've actually flattened it. But we can see here in the hex position we can transform an index from the field into a hex position and vice versa. And you can see the math here. But I think right now, I think we had done the part here we actually create blocks. Yeah, but this isn't very useful. Actually, I need to make sure that we set... Okay, so if... This should probably actually be an unsigned integer. Maybe even an unsigned short if we want to save room, since they'll probably be quite big. That might be worth it. The difference between just an integer and a short is an integer, let's actually see, C# int range. Yeah, so an integer can go from 2,147,000,000 to negative 2 billion basically, while a short can go from negative 32,000. So I doubt that we'll have that many types of blocks, because that's basically all that field that this is actually going to have. You'll probably, well, I think the only thing that's smaller than a short is a byte, and that might be a little too small. So. And then an unsigned short just means that it doesn't have any negative values, so you can go from, I guess it's about 64,000 to 0. So yeah, that should be more than enough. Okay, but the reason I was going to do that is because oh yeah, actually, of course, yeah, these are the index in the array, so it's still an integer. It's just the actual value in the array is going to be a uShort, and that's like the terrain index. But yeah, here we'll just say if battlefield I equals or does not equal, or I guess we can say if it's greater than 0, then we'll spawn something. So if it's index 0, then that means we need to say field.map, that it's air, so that means that we don't spawn anything. Okay, and so we have this. Okay, so yeah, so this is where we had stopped trying to create like a test map. And so we're gonna have a 3x3x3 cube. It won't actually be a cube, it'll be kind of like like here, it'll be a rhombus, so it'd be this position. Okay, and let's just make field. So let's make the bottom row all hexagons. So let's do this like this. If I equals 0, I less than slice. field slice size. Okay, so I'll set this to 1. And then how about plus we make one other. I think this will be okay. Let's just do slice size top plus 1, because then it'll be like the top left would show up. That way we can kind of see the orientation. Okay, and yeah, we don't need any of this because we don't. Yeah, the center world position is not needed anymore, and the outgoing paths aren't either. So. So let's press play. I guess first I should. Okay. We'll leave that off. Okay, yeah, we deleted this object, so. Block prefab creator. Alright, and we need to create a prefab for this. We don't need that anymore. Testing hex. Oops. I always seem to capitalize an E like that. Oh, I did it again. Okay. Set this to 0, and then we can move the model below it. And then we can just drag this here. And oops, like that. And now it should spawn a bunch of them. Not if there's an error, so let's see what that is. Block creator. Okay, so the problem. Oh yeah, with the server, we still have the server configured to wait for a second player, and we don't need to do that anymore. So the second slot, just be for an AI. So now it gets all the way through, but we still have this problem. And the reason this happens is because like the Unity scene is already loaded, so these block prefab object is there, but the scene, like the play scene is not actually loaded yet. So how do I want to do this? Which is battle. Okay. There's a couple ways I can either create a specific message, which would be like play scene loaded. Because I don't think we can just wait for like the controller enter, because we have like this sub-controller thing. Maybe it'd be okay for now, I don't know. don't want to spend too long on this because it's not super important. So I guess, okay. This is just a testing thing anyway. So, right, so game, say controller, enter message, subscribe, simple listener. So then private void generate. So if the controller is map dot map controller oh, that's because we're in the UX right now. Then we call this generate function. Okay. And this is on the enter message, it's called after the constructor, so everything should be ready. Let's see what that does. Ah, perfect. Okay, so that's a little strange. Oh, I know why. Okay. So I was expecting this to be in a corner. And I also have that. Oh, that's just the canvas, which you don't need anymore. I was going to say they have a weird shadow, but the reason that the hexagon is not in the corner is because we added +1, but actually since the map starts at 0, then just field size is the index of this hexagon right here. So let's retry. Okay, well, it's actually over here. That's fine. You can see, okay, so on the default orientation of the camera, the hexagons grow this way. So that's good to know. It doesn't really make much difference because the camera will be able to move around. Okay, so now yeah, that's good. So I guess our next thing we want to do is again spawn the monsters on the map. And a lot of the stuff that I did before is kind of broke when I was making the new reconnection or making all that netcode stuff. So I mean, it won't take that long, I don't think, but we will need to change some of the way that we did the turns before. So I guess we'll just work from the beginning and go on. So actually, let's bring up the diagram. We can see exactly what I need to add. What am I looking for? Play. Okay, so I don't know if I even showed how this works, but really the only thing we need to add is like these time up checks and this reconnection thing, which looks a lot more complicated than it really is. All we do is that if we disconnect from the server, we stop sending messages, and then when we reconnect, we just need to get the game phase again from the server. And then if for some reason the server is not in the play phase, like the server crashed, then we would actually exit to the lobby. But if it is in the play phase, then we just will resume where we were before it crashed. And you can see that almost all of these phases have sort of the same structure, so I might see about trying to combine a lot of it. But we'll see about that when we get to it. So what? Oh yeah, we need to show the monsters on the board again. And I think I've got this test monster model. Oh, it's still playing. So we turn this on. So everything still works, or does it not? No, I think it has the same problem that the block one had, so we need to have it listen to that message as well. So we will just insert that right there. Okay. Okay, so we have this monster move. I guess we can support it, no reason not to, really. Okay. Yeah, so we need to figure out how we'll store monster position. Let's see. Okay, so we could either just do a hex position or just do an index. What would be easier? Probably an index, because we know it's not that difficult to translate. And also here, now that I think about it, this block data, it'd probably be better to also just have an index. Okay, and the reason, like, if we have Fog of War, then we might not know the position for certain monsters, so that's why this is a knowable value. But for now, we're just going to assume we always know where the monsters are. Alright, here's what I was looking for. Okay, so it's a monster. So actually how we'll do this is hex position from field map index, and then monster position dot value, and then 2 world, and now the radius and height are both 1. I think this should work. Although I think we need to add... Yeah, we need to bump the monster up a little bit, otherwise it will be inside the hexagon. Actually, I guess the monster... That's interesting. We'll worry about that when we get to it, but for now, we'll say the monster position will be inside whatever hexagon its position refers to. At some point, we might want to like figure out where the monster's feet are, like if they're on the ground or flying or climbing, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. Okay, so now we can add the positions for the monsters. Equals global value int. Do I not have? Helpful constructors, I guess let's add it. What's the problem with this? I guess it doesn't like... I guess we don't need that in a constructor. Okay, so this value equals value, and this type equals knowledge equals type. Should be a struct, I think. And yeah, this should be read-only as well. Okay. And maybe just for some syntax sugar we can do and this would return a new knowable value with a knowledge type. Okay, let's, I guess it should be source like that. Okay. I always get these crazy songs when we're trying to program. Okay, so knowable value. Dot sort. I just made this. Why is it? Oh, it has to be static. Okay, and so the position would be, if we want it to be in the center, then it would be field slice size plus field row size plus field row size divided by 2. And then for this monster, let's put it on top of the higher slice, so it'd just be slice times 2. Alright, so let's just see what this gives us. Perfect. You can see one monster is in the middle of the hexagon. Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but I move it up a little bit, you can see it over there, and then this one's on top of the other one. Perfect. So now I need to fix raycasting. So I was wondering why we don't get this debug anymore. Maybe because I had it turned off. Okay, no, it's still created right there. Okay, so mouse pick subscribe. Guess we'll turn this back on for testing. And we don't need that anymore. Okay. Let's pick select nothing, that's fine. Okay, so how we'll do this now is just at the moment we'll just have every hexagon have a collider. I have a feeling that for large maps this is going to not be a good idea, but I think for now it will be fine. So do we already have a layer set up for that? Yeah, okay, field. So layer field, and then we add a mesh collider. And it is convex. Okay, so let's just press play and see if the colliders show up correctly. Okay. So something is bugging out, but it's fine. Okay, the colliders, you can see the green lines there, and they're all fine. They match the hexagon exactly. Sometimes they might not, but they do here, so it's good. Okay. But what we need to do also, because see, we have this monster collider, we also need to make, for now, a block collider which will hold the block index, so let's do that. Block collider. And this needs to be public because it's going to be a mono behavior. And all we have to do is put public int index. So we do, I guess we'll be good then and follow the monster collider because that is the correct way to do it. But okay, and then block prefab creator. Well, we can go ahead and just, here we can put the block collider object. Okay, and then we say game object dot get component block collider map index equals I. Okay, so yeah, if it's the field layer, we know it's a hexagon, otherwise it's a monster. We actually can just do this easier now. So we should change this to, it's not going to let us do it right this second. So it would be block map index, and so we'll change this to set select block. Is also a block now. Okay, so let's see if it still throws these errors. Yes. So pick monster. Okay, so it's saying that the block... Oh, okay. I think it's because I put the block collider on the parent, so let's do get component and parent. Yeah, so block 9. I got 0, 9. Monster 1. And so it works perfect because we just use Unity's actual 3D instead of trying to write our own. But like I said, if things get too slow, I think that there are faster ways we could do it. Basically, we combine the meshes together. But yeah, we'll have to see. That wouldn't be too difficult, I've done it before. But I mean, it is work that we might not need to do, so we'll wait. Okay, so what is next? I guess... Yeah, so it won't let me pick a monster because I think it's all broken. So the picking is all good, so I'll turn this off now so we don't spam up the debug log. Let's take a look at what is going on. Okay, so it's stuck on the intro phase. And I think that's because it's going to continually... Actually, I wonder if... I don't think the game actually does anything in intro phase right now. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Flow manager. Okay, so what used to happen was there was the play initializer. Can't even find it. Executor, action phase, current option scope. Where is it? Turn status, place a controller, the components ordering, flows execution, error check, and turn effects, current option scope. Maybe I already deleted it because I was just going to roll it into this connection manager. Oh yeah, that's what I did, I think. Oh, it's, yeah, of course, because this is just, I put all the ready checks together in one class, because that's good. Okay, now we can't do this. I'm actually surprised I haven't had any problems, because we already have the, yeah, we need to use this message broadcaster. So it's ready check broadcast. Okay, and then we just will dot subscribe. Okay, let's fix this. Controller.game. Okay, so new simple listener ready check. And if you don't remember, the reason that we have to have these, like we can't just subscribe here, is because you can only have one handler per message according to Unity, so we have to have this message broadcaster which handles the message and then sends the message out to everybody. Okay, so I think I can just call on already message. Except I'm pretty sure the on already message, yeah, it takes a network message, but okay, that's what we need to do. Oh yeah, so here's how it works. In the initialization, it should have sent that, but I'm not. Let's see if just by doing that, something else happens. Okay, no, it doesn't send anything else. Oh, it's because the connection phase. Oh yeah, see, I started to change it so the connection phase is actually what handles that and not the match phase. But is that, do I still need to do that, I wonder? I don't really think so, because if a client disconnects, then the host decides what to do, and what do I do when a client reconnects? Nothing. Yeah, I don't care when a client reconnects. We just wait. I mean, obviously we'll wait here at the messages, at the ready checks, because we have to get a ready check from all players, so if a player is disconnected, then nothing can proceed. And then when the player reconnects themselves, did I not do that actually? Okay, so when the player reconnects himself, they just go through here. guess they'd actually skip that. I need to add it. So let's say that the player disconnected at the beginning of the sort phase. So they would go through here. They'd skip over the start turn ready check. Just don't even know if I need that one. I don't think I do need this one, actually, now that I think about it. Because it's just an extra step. Okay, so anyway, they come through here. We unlock all the choices so that they can input. Then they go in the choice phase. And so they'll need to choose. Okay, so that is actually something. So, problem is that they have already, like, if they disconnected during the sort phase, then the server and everyone else has already taken their choices into effect. So yeah, I think actually, well, this I think that might be why I said calculate get data. Because they need to get their actual choice from the server. Okay, so yeah, it seems like I did forget to diagram what happens in that respect. So I guess what would happen if, yeah, so if the server is in an extra phase, or a phase ahead of us, let's see if I can squeeze this in. That. So there's actually like a separate phase kind of. So if the server is in a phase ahead of us, then we skip down to this request part. Okay, then after that, I guess we'd still check if it was valid. But we wouldn't do the, okay, so I did remember this part, yeah, if we're out of phase we just don't do this, we skip around it. This would be a bit messy. Basically we just go down here. Oh, so I kind of already did this, I did this in phase, but the thing is, we actually want to move, like skip all the way down here because this data has already been calculated and sent to the server, so we just get it back from the server. Okay, so let's move this and phase to there, and we can get rid of this. Smooth this down so it looks a little nicer. Okay. So right. So if the game is in the sort phase but a client disconnected during there and then they restart, they get to the choice phase, they see that they're not in phase, so they skip down to here, they request choices, they check everything is valid, and then if they're not in phase, they'd skip that ready check and go to the sort. Okay, and then they need to see if the server has already received everything, so that whether they need to calculate or request. Yeah, so kind of there's two separate phases, but we don't have this in it anymore. So how it goes, each of these phases except for the execute, which skips this part. Has two parts, calculate and check. And then the execute is just one, because it just executes everything and then does this at the end. Okay, so we have, let's rename this to choices. Calculate. Choices, check. Choice, ordering, calculate. Because this actually be choice, action. Actions, check. Oops, that's not how you spell actions. Actions. And then we've got choice, ordering, check. Okay, and then choice, execute, it's just one. Okay, and now we have end of turn effect, actions, calculate. Maybe I'll just shorten all these to just calc. Okay, then we have end of turn effect, actions, check. End of turn effect, ordering, calc. Okay, check. Oh gosh. Okay, and now we have end of turn effect, execute, and finally status. Okay, and then it flips backwards, or not flips backwards, it loops around. Okay, play phase. So we don't really need this anymore, I don't think. I should rename this, so play choice actions, calc. Try and match everything up as well as we can. Oh wait, yeah, so the ready checks, let's see. Yeah, so this is a ready check. But I think I actually handle these as errors. I mean, it's not really... Maybe I shouldn't. Oh, it's in a turn status, so we have this error. Maybe they should just all be a ready check because these errors can be sent not during a ready check, now that I think about it. Okay, so yeah. But this is actually ordering, so play, choice, actions, check. I can barely see. And then we have play, choice, ordering, check. And then play, execute, or choice execute. Okay, then we have the same thing except end of turn effects. Turn effect ordering calc. And then this is play status calc. So we have to add the checks in here. Turn effect, actions, check, play, end of turn effect, ordering, check, play, end of turn effect. Gosh. What do you call a tongue twister except for typing? And then finally play status check. And then the rest of the stuff is for loading, so that can stay how it is. Okay, so we can actually expand this ready check manager to do all of that, but I think we'll just take it slow and try and get the choice phase working. Okay, so what about connection? Connection manager. Okay, so let's see all the different types of connections. If you're the host, a client disconnects, then you don't have to do anything, but you can turn it into an AI, so that actually wouldn't matter here. If you're the host, the server can't disconnect, so basically this connection phase doesn't really matter if you're the host. I think I was going to try and do it, but now that I know how the server is actually working, we don't need to. But anyway, then, so if you're the client and the host disconnects, then you would go to searching, because you're trying to search for the host again. And during that phase, the ready check message and all other messages would freeze. And then let's see. Let's take for instance the choice subphase. So if you lost connection during the option, okay, or end of turn effect, that's the same. then nothing really happens. You don't have to do anything until you get to submit choices. Okay, and then you submit. Okay, so I think this will actually work well. So if we are disconnected, we basically just stop here because we're waiting for the ready check. But the ready check can't go because we're not connected. But then if we reconnect, then we kind of have to start this phase over, and so we submit the choices again. And then, well, we wait for the server, I guess, to be ready. So that's one thing we have to... Oh, well, no. Because if the server is not in the lobby phase, then we need to exit the game, so... I guess we still will need something. Anyway, so once everything is ready again, then we can submit the choices, and then we wait for the ready check again. And here, for requests, if we disconnect, we just won't receive things back. Yeah, so we just wait here, and then we ask again when we get reconnected. And same for the error check. Yeah, so that's okay. That's not as that complicated. Ricardo, I'm doing good. How are you? Okay, so yeah, I think that's how we'll do this. So we still will need this connection manager, but I don't know if we need to create it right now. Yeah, so we don't have waiting really. We just have searching. And then we'll have, I don't know, we'll need to get the phase. Let's call it a good phase. And then based on that, we'd either exit the game or not. Oh, no problem. How did your exam go, or is that tomorrow? Okay, so I did create it already. Okay, yeah, so this is on other connection phase. So this is client info. I guess we still need it. Also, we'll have the username. And the player index is just the same as their client index. Your teacher forgot the test? Wow. Yeah, that's all connected. I don't even know if we need this information. Okay, so where is this client info set? Connection manager, message broadcaster. Oh, I see. I haven't actually hooked it up yet, so better get on that. Oh, okay. Just for you and another guy. Yeah, I don't know if I would have been annoyed or not, but on one hand, you didn't have to take a test, but on another hand, you were prepared for that day, so. Clients, set, number of clients, message, clients, links. client I equals 0, I less than message clients. So we just kind of need to match up the data we have in here. Equals clients get I, and then client dot connected. Okay, so I guess I need also the connection status message. Okay, equals message client connected. And then we'll just get the username as well. Might need it sometime in the future. Okay, I do have this message, so but we don't know if a specific index that changed, so you always see the positive tide, you have more time to study. Yeah, that's definitely true. Okay. Oh yeah, so it's just complaining that we don't have this anymore. Which is very true. Other client change. So again, all we really do here is just, I guess I'll keep it around and just say well, actually I won't keep it around because there's no point. All we do is if we're the, like if we're another client, we don't care at all if somebody disconnects. If we're the host, then we might kick them from the game, but we don't have to handle that just yet. Now, here we do care. Switch client connection phase. What is the enumeration called again? That's not it. Okay, client connection state. So, let's see, we have a lot here. But really, all we care about is connected and not connected, so. If those disconnects make the game stop and find another, well, we could do that, but we already set the game up to play with a specific person. Yeah, but that's probably something to do in the future. Okay, so now we need to find it's actually what we do is if we're in the searching phase. That's not what I wanted to do actually. Oh yeah, thanks, Storm. Oh, come on. Type the wrong symbols. Right, there we go. So, if we reconnect, now we're in the searching phase, and that means we need to figure out where the server is now. And then so we change this. I guess I'll private void get server phase. Do we have structures? Yeah, they're very useful sometimes. Just need to be a little careful with them. Okay, so get server phase. Yeah, so if it's in anything else, that means that we have a bug. Structures regularly? Well, let's see. A lot of things like vector 2 and vector 3 are structures because they're just more like data type instead of classes. It's kind of trying to think of how to explain it, but the only thing you need to be careful about structures is that since they're not stored by reference by the compiler, sometimes how should I show this? So if I had this function private void modify vector. I did not spell that right, but it's not gonna make this easy for me, is it? And then, so if I had vector 2 equals new, and then we called modify vector, and this did something like vector 2 dot x plus equals 2, then this vector here would be 3, 1, but then this vector v here is still 1, 1, because when you pass a structure in an argument, it copies it instead of passing the structure itself. So you just have, but the thing about structures is they're a lot more efficient, so you kind of need to weigh the pros and cons. But yeah, I do use them pretty often. So I think we're done here. I guess I'll just say default, because if we're in some other state, then something has gone wrong. Throw new exception. Okay. So the other, yeah, anything else is disconnected. And let's see. And unless, well, we shouldn't ever be at none, but if we're in anything else, then we just set it to searching. Oh, if it's in C, structures are different in C. Sorry. I don't know exactly all the specifics of them, so I'm pretty sure they work sort of the same. But yeah, I couldn't. Sorry if that confused you. action phase. This is searching. Okay, and I think we need to recreate the client. It's kind of complicated. We'll worry about this later because we can't easily test it at this moment. So the main thing is that if we get disconnected, we change the state. So okay, so now actually the match phase, I still have this intro, but really all it will be is just a timer or something. So let's make a separate little class here. Yeah, the base of all the C languages are a lot alike. Okay, public control manager, and we'll have the play subcontroller. And all I'm going to do here is just have like a second timer. I might even make it not make it that long for testing, because it might get annoying to wait a second every time we want to try something. This is normal. Yeah, we don't need this select raycast anymore, do we? Because that is not. Oh wait, no, it is still there. So yeah. You don't close the structure and didn't give it a name, put variables in there too. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm a little definitely rusty on C++, so don't remember all the specifics of it. I've been programming in C# for a long time now. So really all we need, let's clean up a bit. So flow manager, and we'll need this match phase. Okay, and we'll need to do this. We could make the subphases like we could use another state machine like we did for the other subphases, or just have a message to tell the flow manager when we're done with the intro. I think we will do a state machine. Well, it worked really well for the other parts, so yeah, C and C++ and C# are pretty different. C++ is actually a lot more like Java, or C# is a lot more like Java. Okay, so inactive, and then we have, I guess I'll just call it timer for now, and complete. Or actually, I think that was a bug that we ran into before, that we need to have the complete be 0. Let's see. No, that's not the same. Okay, no, so it just goes back to inactive. So Okay, and then the flow manager. Oh, okay, I was just sandstorm. No problem. It's a good language to know. Right. So match phase, and then we'll have another one for the intro phase. Intro phase, I don't know how we'll do it in the actual game. I don't know, maybe just have the camera swirl around the map a little bit and have some UI, but at least that's what I'm envisioning. Sorry, Ricardo. I said it at the beginning, but I keep going back and forth. Private float timer. And I'll just hard code in the period for now. So if timer is greater than or equal to 1 second, then we set the intro phase to inactive. And so we actually need a ticking helper. So that we can control when this function is called. So controller game and pass ourself, and we set this tick helper force inactive to true, so it won't start right away. And then we add that to the activatable list, and that way it will get enabled when the scene begins. So match phase, so we need to know when the match phase enters the intro phase. Int on match phase change. Well, thank you, Ricardo. I do appreciate it. So if match phase state equals int, let's see, intro. And I think we should call this right away actually, because yeah, it starts intro right here. So just make sure that everything is okay. So if that's true, then we call tick helper and we set force inactive to false. Otherwise we don't want to be active, so. And then if we're just starting, we set the timer to 0. Alright. And then here, so we can kind of change that. Except we'll actually use intro phase. And it's a state machine. Okay, let's copy some of this stuff. So on enter intro phase. Oops, I didn't spell that. Okay, so what we do here is if match phase is intro and intro phase, Oh, I don't know the interface. Oh yeah, we have it right here. So if interface. Wait. I want that to be a little I. Okay, that's confusing me. I did do that backwards though. So if interface equals int, enter in parentheses. Okay, so now if it's inactive, turn start. Okay. Last thing I need to do is go to the play controller and create the intro manager. So now I think the game will be able to start the choice phase. So let's see. Oh, something wrong. Oh yeah, there's all this server stuff that's confused now. But we don't have this initialization at all anymore, so I think I can delete it. Where is that? Server, play, phase, initialization. But that is a good point. In the future, there's multiple ways that the server can start in the play phase. But for now, I think it goes there after loading, doesn't it? Yeah, right here. So maybe I should not have deleted that class, but server play init. So this actually won't handle any messages. It will just set up the play phase so the server knows what to do whenever it enters it. Public. Okay, the server controller. Okay, what do we need here? So we need the state machine for the play. Yeah, the play state machine. And that equals get our, oops. I keep forgetting. State machine, and what is the key? I think it's like, okay, it is just the play phase. Okay, and so I also need just the normal, or the game phase for the server. Let's see. Subscribe, new, simple listener. So on main phase change. And this is actually main phase. And so here we know that when the main phase enters play, we're going to set the play phase to the first one, which I think is action calculation, but oh yeah, Ricardo, thanks for coming by at all. That's fine, I totally understand. Have a good night. So what do I do here? If main phase, thanks Ricardo. So what is it? What did I call this? Server main phase? yeah, I had to move it down here. Okay, so it's just a server phase dot play. Oh, I did it backwards again. It's supposed to be integer in the parentheses. So once we enter the play phase, then we set this to server play phase dot choice actions calculation. Yeah, which is first. Any other time we will just set the play phase to 0 so it doesn't like, so we make sure everything gets stopped correctly. Now let's make sure we actually create this. Don't need that. Also, I'm just going to rename this. Okay, I know in the future we're going to need to be able to send the server play phase over the network as well. Because when we reconnect, like really right here, oh, actually no, we don't need the play phase here, we need it, I guess we should still get it to be careful, but we actually need to get it when we first connect. After a crash, but I guess we'll worry about that later. Because the reason that we need it is because we know that if the server is ahead of us, then we skip a lot of this stuff. This should actually be up here, I think. I'm a little confused. Okay, I'll clean this up. I know nobody likes to make diagrams, so I'll clean that up in the future. So, okay. I guess let's just see what happens now when I press play. I think the match phase should go to play. So let's see. Does not. Okay. Okay, that's just the ready check type. I guess I'll get rid of it. So clean up the debug log. Did I actually start? Did I create the initialization? I'm pretty sure I did. Let's see. Final references. Yeah, right here. But it didn't actually do anything. Oh, it's because I leave the intro phase as inactive. So what I need to do is say intro phase dot state equals timer now it should start, pretty sure. Yeah, and then it switches to active. Okay, and then, well, let me click on something. Well, maybe, but we don't actually do anything yet. So let's see, does it? Server phase. I guess we don't have a message when the server changes play phases, do we? Okay, so let's remedy that. Okay, so where is it? Just add it right here. And then just to make things a little less confusing, I'll put main right here. And I just want to make sure that we get to that part of the code, because that will be important soon. Okay, yeah, I saw it. So server main phase is play, but the play phase is choice actions calculator. Okay, so now we need to... So we're going to do this simply again. We'll just... the game will just assume that we've already selected this monster, and then if we select a tile, it will try to move that monster to that tile. One thing I noticed is that we probably will need to be able to select like a specific face of a tile. So yeah, we might need to change some things for that, but I won't worry about it just yet. Okay, so let's see. Looking here, it said the option choice phase was in an active. Oh yeah, and the choice subphase was an option. Yeah, so that's all correct. Oops, sorry. I'm just trying to find where we actually do this. Turn option chooser, okay. Pick move to action. Okay, so is this still good? Yeah, it just tells you what the current player is. That's fine. Oh, did it delete where I just was? Oh, here. We want the turn option chooser to stay. So I know okay, we don't need this, I don't think. Mouse index. Okay. Let's rename this to block. Okay, so this is, what does this do actually? Oh, okay, I know what's wrong. Somewhere, start with player. Yeah, we have this test query, and I think it sends back an empty list, and that's why nothing was letting us choose anything. So let's see, test move to adjacent. But yeah. Yeah, I commented all this out because everything's different now. This was using our old system. Can still use most of it though, I think. Okay, so we have the player index and the monster. Okay, so that's still good. Okay, so this is actually going to be a good demo of the algorithm to get adjacent blocks. So hex position equal, let's say on hex equals hex position from field map index, and then we gotta pass it the field and also on space index. I want to get rid of references to space. Okay. So this is actually different. So I guess in the future it might be nice to have a function actually in the hex position that would give you a list of all adjacent, but for now I won't do that. Let's okay, so this is kind of bad. Oh no, that's how it's supposed to work. Extract method, let's say add hex. Oh, why didn't it rename? So player index, monster index, and then we have expose to block. Or let's just say 2 hex. What we'll need to do is 2 hex. Oh, come on. Fingers, work with me here. And then do I still have reference to the battle? Oh, I don't, that's kind of annoying. Oh yeah, I do. Oh, that just made it static. Okay, so what we do here okay, so basically, where's the this page? For the offset coordinates, how it works is that you can see here it's every sum that, oh no, that's not correct, is it? Oh, that's offset coordinates, that's not what I want. The axial coordinates. Okay, so how they did that is probably how we'll end up doing it, where they have like an array of every possible direction. But it's basically, remember that the row, column, and the sum always equals 0. So, how do they explain it here? Yeah, it says changing one of the 3 cube coordinates by 1 and changing another by -1. So, it's every possible combination, basically. But in axial coordinates, we just use this third coordinate is just implicit. So let's just have Actually, we can for sure add that static list into the hex position class. Public static expose. And this would be, I don't know, unit vectors. And we can copy okay, let's yeah, our hex positions also have the slice. So I guess this would be 2D unit vectors. Oh, I have to put the variable can't start with a number, so put it at the end. There are extra spaces in there. So we gotta do a little work to get the format correct here, but okay. So here, then we just go for int I equals 0, I less than hex position unit vectors 2D length. We could actually do this simpler. For each var direction in hex position yeah, unit vector is not the right name, is it? I guess axis vectors 2D. Then we just call add hex player index monster index and on hex plus direction. Oh, and then I just do gotta add it to the options, of course. Okay, so now we've updated that, and is that all I have to do? Maybe everything will work now. Although I can already think of one problem, but we'll see. So if I click here, okay, no, that doesn't work, does it? But yeah, the problem I'm thinking of is like, okay, let's bring the map back up. If the player is on this, then we wouldn't want it to be able to move this direction because then it'd be inside this hexagon. But yeah, we can worry about that later. Okay, so I wonder what is happening now. Okay. So the test query should be working now. It's options. Maybe I should have a debug here. So Unity Engine debug. Oh, I already do right here. Start controlling player. I guess I should see. Does that actually come up? Yeah, it does. Well, of course it does because we got these debugs as well. So mouse type block. Maybe this part is where we're having problems now. Unity engine, debug, log, choose. That's not how you spell choose. Okay, so let's see what we get now. It will probably just be a bunch of negative ones, because that would explain what's been going wrong. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it actually does send something. Oh, and the reason is because we select this hexagon, but the movement is actually for the block above, which we can't select because it's air. So that's not that difficult to change. So the block is actually the index minus the battlefield slice size to go down, or no, we want to go up one. So that's why I think we'll need to know which face we select, because I guess it just depends how we store the monster position. Okay, so yeah, now it says start controlling player 1. And I think the problem is that player 1 can't move because it wants to move up in the air. And also, here's another problem. It wants to move to these spaces, but they're out of bounds. I think it might actually let it move this way, because the reason we use these space indexes, but obviously if you move left here, then it actually will give you this space, because it goes down a slice, if that makes sense. So let's see if it lets me do that. And it does, so that's another thing we need to fix. And since we changed stuff around, of course the server is not going to work right now, but do we want to mess with that too much? I guess it might be a good practice. And yeah, we probably don't have time to do server today, so yeah, we'll take the next 10 minutes and spruce this up a little bit. Okay, but now since we are actually able to use this for each loop, it doesn't really need to be a separate function, so I think I'll go ahead and pull it back out. Okay, so then hex position 2 hex equals on hex plus direction. So we really just need to make sure that the hexes are on the same slice, kind of. So if 2 hex, but that's not it. I mean, that's not all really. Because let's bring this back up. Actually, it'd be easier if we just think of this 2D. So the way that we're storing it, let's see. I guess this is fine. Well, if we're standing right here and we go left, then it will loop over here. So obviously that's not what we want. So we need a way. Okay, well actually, yeah, this is fine, because when we add the direction to the hex, like the actual column and row does not loop around. So all we have to do is check if the hex position is still a valid position. So let's see. How did I do that? public bool is valid on map. So we'll pass it the field again. And so we return column greater than 0 and column less than field row size. Okay, so it's greater than equal to 0 actually. And row greater than equal to 0 and row less than field so yeah, we need to get the int num rows. Okay, I guess let's do this. So num columns is just field dot row size. We know that. Int num rows is field dot slice size divided by the row size. And num slices is the field map length, so all tiles divided by the slice size. So row also has to be less than the number of rows, and then slice greater than or equal to 0. Slice less than num slices. Okay. So obviously if anything is negative or outside the maximum, then it's not going to be on our it's not going to be on the map, so we don't want to use it here. So all I have to do is say if 2hex is valid on map, we pass it field. And then I guess we can also check to see int map index equals 2hex 2. So if it's valid and map, oh wait, battle map, oh come on, field map index equals 0, because we want it to be an air tile. So let's see what this looks like. I think ironically it will give the second player no spaces to move, which I guess isn't ironic, but whatever. Okay, so player, oh, it can actually move to space 19 and 21. So that's not right, is it? Oh, because, yeah, I can move here and also to the top left. Or top right, but it would just fall, which I guess is okay, but let's say private bool can stand and be int index. So it can stand if index, so the index has to obviously be greater than the battle field slice size, because if it's, there's no block below it if it's on the 0th slice. And then battlefield map index minus havoc minus the slice size. Please work with me here. And so this is equal to 0. Or actually it can't be 0, so if it's greater than 0 that means we're standing on something. And we can just return this now. Okay, so now if it's valid, we're not going to try to move into rock, and we're standing on something. We can move to that position. So again, there should be 6 possible moves for player 1, but 0 for player 2. Okay, we get 6, and yeah, 0 for player 2, so that's good for now. Alright, we're at a good stopping point actually. Okay, so I guess we will end it. Thanks everybody for coming by and watching. Feel free to follow my Twitch and to be notified when I go live. Probably tomorrow around 5. I've been thinking about doing something kind of fun with the channel, but I'll announce it after I thought about it more. But yeah, stay tuned this Friday. But tomorrow we'll keep working on this, fix up the rest of the turn.net code, and yeah, pretty soon I hope we actually get to some game design. I'm really itching to do that. But yeah, and everybody, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye.